Want to hear something weird? There's like 5 surprising and often overlooked factors that can affect your menopausal journey. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Valencia and welcome to the Akani Collective. If you are an existing subscriber, thank you so much for being here. And if you are new, give me a like and hopefully I earn your subscription. So let's talk. Menopause is already crazy, but these 5 things gonna blow your mind, guaranteed. And if it does, leave me a comment. Let me know which one was like the most surprising. 1. So did you know that women who endured some childhood trauma or had adverse childhood experiences like abuse, neglect, dysfunctional family sounds familiar to anybody? So because of those things, your menopausal experience can be intensified. And there is a link to childhood trauma and going into menopause early. So think about stronger, disrespectful hot flashes and night sweats and mood swings that make you want to unalive some of everybody. And let's not even mention the sleep problems that come with menopause. So yeah, if you had childhood trauma, then that is going to affect your menopausal experience. Now breathe. Let's get into number 2. If you got your period early, that can affect your menopausal experience. So the average age is probably about 12, 13. It kind of depends on when you get that first period. So if you have what they consider an early period, that can make you go into menopause earlier. Because think about it, your body is able to reproduce earlier, so your reproductive cycle starts earlier. Now, just to kind of put a pin in it, any menopause starts different for everybody. So if you look at early menopause, is considered like if you go into menopause before 45. And I've talked about it before. I was 42. And by the time I hit 46, I believe I was done. So now at 48, I'm postmenopausal. So let's go ahead and dip back into number 3. So let's go ahead and dip into number 3, violence or abuse. So women that have been exposed to violence, abusive situations, and those things may go through what they call accelerated reproductive aging. So all of these things, those things that you're exposed to and deal with when you're young, affects your menopausal experience as you get older. It affects more than that. But right now we're talking about menopause. So those are some of the things. If your menopausal journey is way different, way worse, way hotter or traumatic than your friend, your childhood may be the difference. So let's get into number 4, smoking and your body composition. So smoking can make you go into menopause earlier. Women who are underweight tend to hit menopause earlier. Those with like a higher BMI, body mass index number, tend to get it later. This is based on research. So let's get into number 5, thyroid disorders and other autoimmune conditions. So if you have an overactive or underactive thyroid, you may experience menopause earlier or later. So these are things that ideally your doctor knows or can advise you about and say, hey, this is what you could expect because your thyroid is doing X, Y, and Z. Menopause is all about your hormones and the balance, lack of them, all the above. So of course, with a thyroid or autoimmune situation, it's dealing with your hormones. So menopause is going to menopause when it wants to menopause. So you may be like, Okay, so why does this even matter? Why do I even need to know this information? Number one, the more you know, the more empowered you are to know what's going on with your body, in discussions to have with your doc, or find a commonality amongst your friend group, your social circle. So these are just a few of the elements that show how your entire life from childhood to adulthood intersects with your menopausal experience. Menopause is not an island. Everything about you intersects. Then understanding these not so talked about factors can give you a little bit more context and a little bit more understanding with what's going on with your body, and give you the verbiage you need when you go and talk to like your doctor, your healthcare person. So whether you're seeing symptoms of whatever, everything's not random, and it's nothing to be ashamed about, because with the 5 that I just named, 4 of them I could say like check, 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 check. I haven't had a thyroid issue or any type of autoimmune issue. So I do understand, learning these things, why at 42, that's when I became aware that I was perimenopausal. And by 46, I was done. Where I know people that hadn't even started yet. And here it is, I'm like, I'm on the other side. And learning these things helped me understand why. Because even my doctor, even other people was like, you went early. Well, as I get to learn more about things that trigger early menopause, or things that trigger this, or symptoms of this, and this, it empowers me, because now I can say, well, yeah, I dealt with some stuff in my childhood, and this is how it showed up in my adulthood. So you don't have to feel alone if that's you, but at least you have the words you need to say, yep, this is the situation. Do any of these apply to you or someone you know? Started exploring that. 2, have you addressed any childhood trauma? Just something to think about. Might want to. And 3, therapy is always an option to help you if you hadn't dealt with the trauma. Or if you smoke and you want to stop smoking, there's options for that. So you want to make sure you do what's best for you, whatever that looks like for you at the end of the day. And give yourself some grace. I can't go back and redo my childhood or some of those messed up relationships that added trauma to it, but I can focus on living my best post-40, post-menopausal life right now. And that's what we're doing in 2025. So thank you so much for watching.